Hello, welcome to Stretford, Paddock. This is the review of Manchester United against West Ham. I'm joined by Alex. Man United have come from behind to win a game away from home for the fifth time in a row. 9 league games away from home in a row, away from home in a row that United have now won. A record breaking, our own record we've just broken. I hate the term a game of two halves, but how different was that second half to the first half then?
I've seen some tweets saying and stuff like that saying that was our worst first half performance this season, the worst half we played. I wouldn't think that's too far off.
It might not be too far off. I don't think it was our worst performance in the first half of the season.
It was very bad.
It was very bad, but we've been very bad in a lot of games, especially in the first half this season. Namely Istanbul away, namely Southampton, namely West Brom.
Okay, there's been a few. Okay, there's a few.
All the recent
all
games.
the ones away from home.
It's an absolutely bizarre formula that we're in at the moment where start the game with what looks like a very strong team. I know that Bruno was out and Rashford is out, but we had Pogba in there, we had Cavani, we had Martial, we had Van der Beek in there, even Mason Greenwood, who's not been on great form recently, but you know, you see him in the starting 11 and you go, we're going to have chances here. And we were horrific. Pogba, McTominay, Marshall, Tellez, every single person you want to look at, other than maybe, again, I don't think the two centre-backs were that bad today.
No, I think they were good today.
Maguire made a couple of shit headers, but like I thought they were okay. Wan-Bissaka didn't do too much wrong, but other than them two, you were either shocking or anonymous. And then second half, we make 2 subs at half-time. We bring Rashford on, we bring Bruno on. And after the first sort of 5-10 minutes of the second half, once we got our feet together, we were brilliant.
It was very, very strange the way that, like you said, everyone was anonymous. And because I looked at that starting 11 and went, I like this. I like the fact that we've been able to rest Bruno. I like the fact that we had Rashford is actually getting a break. He's not just starting again. And I thought that's a strong enough team. Go out, play some good football. Everyone's been crying out for Van der Beek to get more minutes. Oh, yeah. He's got the start. Pogba got his start again. They were really poor, but a little bit of luck, I'd say. Maybe that goal shouldn't have counted with it going out of play, potentially.
Nah. That's not even a rule. That's not even a rule
well,
I ever think about. The ball did go out. It looked like it went out. Dean Henderson played the ball down the line.
Moyes.
He's gone.
That's gone.
The ball came back round him, came back in, collected on the other end of it, and we scored.
The finish from Paul Pogba. This is... I think Ronaldo tweeted about it and said that's what's more annoying about Paul Pogba than anything is because he can do that a lot. The quality he's got to make that finish. There's not many players in the Premier League can just walk onto a ball like that and do that finish. Side foot it in from 30 yards out. There's not many players can do that. And as soon as that goal went in, everyone kind of went, that's it now.
Because let's not forget, they were only 1-0 up. And as good as West Ham were, and they had plenty of chances in the first half, Bowen had 2 or 3. Yeah. Haller had that great chance where he went round the goalkeeper and just fell over. Maybe he was offside, but he didn't put it in anyway, so it didn't matter. Bowen had that one at the back post. They had a lot of good chances, West Ham. And, even against Southampton when we were 2-0 down, but you still sort of felt like if we get one,
we'll get another.
And today, 1-0, as bad as we were in the first half, and all the fucking cockroaches and the mice and the rats came out trying to bite at the Ole and all that sort of stuff that we see every single time we concede a goal. Before, it used to be, if you lose 5 or 6 games in a row, or maybe, you lose 3, you draw 1, you win 1, people start going, I'm not sure this manager's good enough. Then it got to the point where if we lose any game, this manager's not good enough. Then it got to the point where if we just draw, now, if we're 1-0 down, he's got to go. Wait for the game to finish first.
Let it settle.
At least let us have the full 90 before we've sacked the manager. Yeah. And we've got rid of Pogba and we've got rid of Maguire and Tellez and everyone. Let us play the game first. And especially the way United are playing at the moment. But the second half, Paul Pogba looked much better. Bruno Fernandes, I think, I saw a stat on Twitter that he created 8 chances in the second half, which is the most any person's...
That is ridiculous. Yeah. How much... it's
the most any player's made in a game this season, and it was only in 45 minutes.
He's ridiculous. And the worry is a little bit, we do rely on him a lot now, and it does... And it was said in commentary on Sky that they went, United need to go a goal down before they kick back into gear.
Well, we said it on the watch along, didn't we?
That's a worry that United need to do that. They did it in midweek. Now, they didn't get the result in midweek, but until... PSG scored, we didn't look in the game, and that seems to be the thing. We sort of go, okay, we're fine. We're better than we think we are, and then we'll concede, and then go, here we go, let's go.
But even against PSG, we conceded, and then second half we came out, made loads of chances, and just happened to not score them. But yeah, and the thing with this formula again that I was saying about how we look shit, we concede, then second half we come out and blow them away. It's not even something where you can go, let's look back at another time when this has happened. We are literally on a record-breaking run across any team in the Premier League, 5 wins away from home in a row, and every single one we've been down.
That
has never happened before. So you can't go, well, this happens sometimes. Teams go through form like this. This is literally unprecedented form. We're also 9 Premier League away games in a row.
Win streak.
On a win streak, which is a club record.
Which is ridiculous.
It's insane at the moment. And actually, if we can get the table up on the screen.
There's a couple of stats. There's a couple of stats and quotes here. No team in history has gained more points from behind than Manchester United. I mean, that was before, under Fergie.
Is that for our whole history?
In Premier League history. So since 92, no team has gained more points from being behind. That's just Manchester United. I think that the fact it's happening at home more, and it's happening consistently now,
also,
isn't great.
If you extrapolate that stat out, few teams in history have won more points than Manchester United. So some of them are going to be from behind. If that stat was no team has won more points from behind than Stevenage, you'd be like, fucking hell. But United had consistently got 80 plus points a season for 30
and
years.
There's a little quote Ollie's just said about why we were so bad. He said, we played against a team that's drawn to City, drawn to Tottenham. They're a good team and they're aggressive. And I do think they were a good team, and you know what you're going to get with David Moyes, and usually a very organised team that's going to press, that's going to do the right things, do the simple things well. Yeah. But there was no need for us to be outplayed by them in the first half. I can understand them frustrating us, but we just never got going. We couldn't get a string 3 passes together. But then second half, as soon as that goal goes in, it's a completely different performance.
Yeah. Rashford looked brilliant when he came on, and he's one of those players that he gets so much. I keep talking about this, and it's almost a running theme of things that we talk about in the preview and in the reviews, is the negativity and just the general sort of boiling hate around United that pops up all the time. People hate Rashford. When are we going to admit that Rashford has one good game in 4? When are we going to admit that Bruno's just a penalty merchant? When are we going to admit that Ole's out of his depth? When are we going to admit that Maguire's just a fucking head on a stick? All these things. When are you going to admit that we're actually quite good? Yeah. That since January, I think now we've won more points than any other team in the league.
It's very Arsenal-like.
I don't care what it's like, because we haven't done that at any time though, and also it's not since January. And you look at the calendar, it's March, and you've played 9 games, you've won 6, drawn 3. It's been 10 months since January, or 11 months since January. It's like this is 25 games we've played where we've got the most points of anyone in that time. And you look at the table now, United are 2 points off the top. United on equal points with Chelsea, equal points with Leicester, ahead on goal difference. Our goal difference isn't great, admittedly, and that's something that we really need to work out. But we're ahead of City, ahead of Leicester. Sorry, not equal points. Only 2 points behind Liverpool and Tottenham, who are both above us. United are 4th in the table on equal points. Now, all of those teams play this weekend still, so
that game in hand
will fall away. Yeah. But on equal games with everyone, that is a much nicer looking table when 3 weeks ago, we're 15th, everyone's got a fucking
And
go.
This is the thing, Ollie kind of said in his press conference after the PSG game, and loads of people brought up and went, we've not been that consistent in the slightest. When you, like you mentioned, those 25 games, we've not been bad. We have been pretty consistent in league form. Yeah. We've not done too bad in cup competitions in the past. So if you look at the last 40 games, we have been quite consistent. And this thing about the Premier League this season is that you only need to win 3 or 4 games in a row. Yeah. And you are looking at, Chelsea got to the top of the league of the week and they were crowned the best team in the world. Yeah. They've only won 2 or 3 games in a row. That was the kind of thing. And they are a good team, but there's no team this season. Liverpool and City aren't going to run away with it this year because they've not got the squads, and this lack of pre-season or whatever it is. They aren't quite ready for it this season. So you only need little runs to be not far away. We're 2 points off the top now. We need to keep this momentum going. I think midweek becomes even more important now. If you get that point, even just the point, it keeps that momentum going. We're through in the Champions League, and then next weekend, if we get a result, if we beat City next weekend, that changes the complexion of the season
Get through the group stage, beat City. all of a sudden you're thinking, let's be there or thereabouts by Christmas. And again, I'm not saying, 3 wins in a row or 4 wins in a row, whatever it is, West Brom, Everton, Southampton, West Ham. So 4 wins in a row in the league. And I'm not saying all of a sudden title challenge. But if we can get some points off City and, ideally beat City, and by January the 1st, we're within 2 or 3 points from the top of the league, that's what I wanted at the start of the season. I'm not saying we're going to push it all the way, but when you get to those milestone moments, Boxing Day or New Year's Day is one of those where you can look and reflect, and Ferguson would talk about, let's get to see where we are by January the 1st. If we're within a couple of good weekends away from the top of the league, I'll be happy with that as a start to the season. A tweet there saying that Cavani came off through injury. Martial also seemed to come off through injury. We don't know the extent of either of those at the moment, but they're both things worth looking out for. Are you slightly concerned that we know Rashford's injured? Ollie's spoken about that, and we've spoken about that. We heard Stephen talking about that. We've got a shoulder problem. Cavani's now injured to some extent. We don't know what. Martial, the same. Mason Greenwood, though, just getting back to form a little bit. Good goal today, had a couple more chances. Is that maybe happening at the right time, or are you still really concerned about Cavani and Martial there?
I think I'm concerned, but I've been concerned all season with the lack of depth that we've got in the forward areas. I think that Cavani's come in and has proved himself as a starter and got this little run of games starting. He now maybe has to come out of the team for a couple of games. Martial's out of form and maybe injured. He now has to come out of the team. And now you're pretty much bare bones up there. You've got Rashford who isn't fit. And this was the whole point, again, around the whole Sancho saga at the start of the season. There's Adam McCullough just having a
Adam McCullough with no respect at all for the review that we're doing here. And don't share a mic with someone because it's fucking COVID, isn't it? You know what I mean? But think about it. Think about it.
I've already had it, it's fine.
Have you had it?
I've got it.
He's got it, so he can't give it you again.
He can't give me again, it's fine. Anyway,
health and safety.
Yeah. So the whole thing around the Sancho thing in the summer wasn't just the fact that United needed Jadon Sancho. They needed strength in depth at the top, and we're still lacking some. We're still meaning that we can't rest players. We've got 3 or 4 players that you want starting. And Juan Mata came on today, and I text my mate saying, "Can we get Juan Mata some new legs and just have him start every week?" Because he's
is there a rule
so good
against getting a player wheels? Because imagine Juan Mata, but we replace his legs with some big wheels and he can do 40 mile an hour.
He'd be mint, wouldn't he?
Admittedly, he would then not have his left foot. So,
but
forgot about that.
But anyway,
lovely through ball for Rashford for Rashford's goal. Let's make it 3-1.
The quality that Juan Mata's got in games like this, where especially when it opens up a little bit and he can just play those passes, that one-touch pass, the vision to have that is unbelievable. And also that run from Rashford is something that, I mean, that's what he's good at, isn't it? Getting on the shoulder of the defence and scoring goals like that. Quote from Marcus Rashford, speaking to Sky after the game, "We need to stop doing that when he's talking about conceding first. If we keep more clean sheets, we'll definitely win more games. It was good that we show spirit when we concede goals, but ideally we don't want to be conceding." Well said, Marcus. I mean, yeah.
I like that.
Let's...
do you know what? In an ideal world, we'd never concede a goal.
And we'd score loads.
It's weird, though, because what seems like a run-of-the-mill, blasé, basic, kind of statement is actually, like we said, very of the moment in that we do keep doing it. It's not like it's a couple of games where, we're conceding first. It's happening every game here. But there's almost part of me where you think, why does it take us to concede? Because we didn't concede straight away. It wasn't like PSG where we were 1 down after 6 minutes. Their goal was well into the game, well into the first half. And so it's like, it doesn't just take us for them to score, because it just takes us 50 minutes, regardless of whether they score or not, to get going. So that's what we need to sort out. Obviously, stop conceding. We can't lose games if we don't concede. But it's almost that we didn't turn it around straight away either.
No,
they didn't score, and we went, right, see you later. We waited 40 minutes after they'd scored to actually get good.
It's strange, and the other thing is, it's not just one set of players. It's not like when we don't have Bruno, we start. When we have Bruno, we start fast, or we take him out of the team, and that's what's making us start slow. This is happening every single game. PSG, it happened. Southampton, it happened. They were 2 strong teams we put out that are probably our best teams, and we just started slowly. And today, you took Bruno out there, but you still had enough there. You had. You have Van der Beek and Pogba. We shouldn't be that bad.
What a sensational player Bruno is, though. Comes on, should have had 3 assists. We talked about before the chance he created, the most of anyone in a single game this season. He's such a good player, isn't he? And he gives the ball away and all that, whatever you want to say. I don't even... Do you know what? I'm actually sick of giving the caveats on Bruno. I'm sick of saying, yes, I know he gets a lot of penalties. I'm sick of saying, oh, well, I know his pass success isn't that high. Exactly.
Not a bad thing.
Like, I'm not going to do that anymore.
He's the best.
I'm not going to say...
Currently... the best player in the league.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that anymore.
There's no argument right now.
Yeah.
On form, he is the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and I'm not going to have to give excuses
because
or
he takes
caveats,
penalties.
any of that. He's the best player in the league at the moment, and the fact that he keeps getting goals and assists, he's doing it more than anyone else, and he's brilliant.
It's ridiculous. There's 2,500 of you watching.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 200 likes a minute. Can we get to 1,000 likes as soon as possible? So get doing that.
Yeah,
There's
like
been a quote
video
here from David Moyes, our ex-manager. He's a little bit angry today. A little bit angry. He said, on that first goal, the ball went over my head on the touchline. There was no one in a better position to see it than me. Well, I think there might have been, but, he's going to say that. The linesman said he did not see it. It was a poor decision.
When he said there's no one in a better position to see it than me, it's a shame you're the opposition manager then, isn't it? Because you're hardly the most reliable source. Honestly, lads, it went out. I'm sure, maybe it did go out, but I don't care. In fact, I'm happy it went out.
It absolutely did.
I don't mind it going out. I like a bit of that.
It absolutely
did. It looked like it did go out. But admittedly, if we got that goal off the back of a bit of fortune, then, that's good. But after we scored that goal, we did look very good. It's not that... Here's the thing. I don't think it's that we need the opposition to score for us to play well. I think it's that we need us to score for us to play well.
Yeah, I think
because otherwise we just... the first 50, 60 minutes again, we're just so poor.
I think there is that. I think that Pogba kind of is the sum of that. I think that until he gets still something happens, he looks a frustrated football. He looks frustrated when things weren't going his way and when the pressure seems to be getting onto him. I think that he starts trying more and more things in the same way that Bruno does. But I think there's something that around Paul Pogba where he kind of just when things aren't going his way, the team seems to struggle and everything just seems to be, oh my God, the world's ending. Paul Pogba can't play football. And then he scores a goal like that and then he just settles and he just becomes the player that you want. And you see him, he's got that confidence again. He's starting trying the passes and you want that Paul Pogba to walk onto the pitch like that. You want him to walk out there and go, do you know what? I am as good as I think, everyone else thinks you are. Go out there and just score the goals. Do that. But they don't. They kind of just... like I said, it needs our goal for them to get going, and we can't have that because, like it happened with PSG, you can't do that against the better teams. For as much as Southampton and West Ham have a good start to the seasons, they're not that good.
No,
but you do it to teams like to PSG, and you give them a goal head start. It's hard to get back into that, and you play against. We've got some big games coming up. If we do that to City next week, they could score 2 or 3 goals. They could be, and then you're not getting back into that game.
No.
So we can't keep doing that, and big run of fixtures coming up.
Yeah, massive.
Big run of fixtures.
Something I want to talk about quickly is the substitutions that Ollie made, because obviously we've said how good Bruno was, we've said how good Rashford was. Neither of those people or players started the game today.
Yeah.
And put it into context of recent games, Ollie brought Cavani on against Southampton at halftime. We didn't start well again.
Yeah.
Brought him on, 2 goals and an assist. And people say, oh, well, he should have started Cavani in the first place. We could all see that. Well, this game he starts Cavani, and we're shocking. So he takes him off, admittedly because of an injury apparently, but he also made the other sub and took Van der Beek off as well, who wasn't necessarily the worst player, but Ole obviously saw, here's how I'm going to change things. I'm going to do a like-for-like sub, bring Bruno on. The timing of the subs and the subs that he made to change the game in both games were absolutely massive. And I think he has to get a lot of credit for that because it's, I think sometimes fans and myself included, we sort of look at things from a very one-dimensional viewpoint where we go, Cavani came on and was good, therefore he has to start. And then when he does start and he was pretty poor today, we go, oh, it's Ole's fault he's been poor. Yeah. But then actually, Ole's made that sub and brought Bruno on, who obviously is a great player, but he's rested players, rotated players, and sometimes it's not who you bring on or exactly the same person every time is going to work. It's why you bring them on and the system that you're bringing them into and the team you're bringing them on against. So I think you've got to give Ole massive credit, the way he's rotated the squad a little bit in recent games and the way that his substitutions are consistently bringing the team wins. And, you've got to give him credit for that, surely.
Absolutely. I think that, we had to rotate today. You had to give Rashford a break. You had to maybe give Bruno, even if it's just 45 minutes off today, it needed to happen. And to come on when we're 1-0 down, that's obviously not ideal. But at the same time, you have to look at a game over 90 minutes, and it worked today, and it worked last week in the end. The way that he managed the squad a little bit, like you mentioned, Cavani didn't start. We didn't have the best of games, but if we score the early chances, there's not a problem. That he's managed those games well, and to give these players 20 minutes off here, 30 minutes off there, I think there's people saying he was wrong to take off Cavani.
Fred, who was rested entirely
Fred,
today, by the way.
who was rested entirely, can't play midweek. He's going to be fully fit for the City game next week.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. He's going to be needed in those kind of games. He's done well in the past. We have to rotate the squad. I was speaking to Steve before the game about this. I don't think Ollie just wants top 4 or just wants a cup. Like has happened before. When we've got top 4,
Jose do it a
we've
little bit in
been
the Europa.
dreadful in the league.
Yeah.
We've been dreadful in the cups. When we've gone on cup runs, we've been dreadful in the league.
Like when he won the FA Cup.
Exactly. I think Ollie wants to finish 3rd and maybe win the FA Cup or have a run in the Champions League. Those two things. He wants to do that. And to do that, you have to manage this squad. We've got a super chat before that. I've loved Tony Marshall from the start, but I don't see him playing in a title-winning team. Great dribbler, but has no clue or desire about making runs. I don't think that's right. Look, Tony Marshall had a fantastic season last season, scored 25 goals, I think it was. And I think he's just in a bad run of form at the minute. I just don't think it's going his way. Hopefully, I'm hoping he's not injured, but maybe this little break he'll get from this will have him coming back firing all cylinders again. Because we need Martial to be fit. I mentioned it before the game. He knows that Rashford's not fully fit. He knows that we can't be relying on Edison Cavani at 33 years old.
He was our top scorer last season.
He was
as
our
well,
top
let's
scorer.
not forget.
He knows that Mason Greenwood has had a bit of a bad time at the start of this season. And for as much as everyone's going to demand we sign someone in January, it probably won't happen. So we need to get behind Tony Marshall. Marshall has to get himself back into form, whatever that way is, whether he has to drag himself through it, whether he needs to come out of the team, whatever that is. Marshall needs to get better this season, and we need Marshall to be backfiring. It can't be let's give up on Tony Marshall, because look, if we don't, we aren't going to finish in the top three this season, because we need all of them to get 15, 20 goals for us to do that. We did it last season and finished 3rd. You can't have a season where we have our strikers scoring 10 goals. He has to get back into form, and I'm not quite sure how it's going to work, how it's going to go, but he needs to get himself back into form.
And one last thing before we go as well. When United are in the top 4, and when United are 2 points off the top of the league, and when United are a draw or a point away from qualifying through the most difficult Champions League group that there has been this year, and when United are still in the League Cup, and when United are doing well across basically every front they're fighting on at the minute, and there's still people who want to get rid of the manager, who want to get rid of the striker, who want to get rid of Paul Pogba, who want to get rid of every single player. Maguire's not good enough. Tellez can't defend. Wan-Bissaka can't attack. Every player's got a weakness. If you want to get rid of every single player in the team and the manager and the assistant and the coaches and get rid of them because we keep conceding from corners, these sorts of things, we're 2 points off the top of the league. We're a draw away from getting out the toughest group in the Champions League. You have to enjoy this as a Manchester United fan, and you can't always be looking for the negatives, because we're doing well at the moment, and we have to know that, and we have to like it. And if you don't like it, what are we watching for?
Exactly.
We're 10 games into the start of the season. We're 2 points off the top. That's a good start to the season. We have to enjoy this.
Yeah.
Adam, what's your fact?
3 academy players scored today.
3 academy players scored today,
Yep.
if you include
Like
Paul Pogba.
Ollie mentioned,
You include Paul Pogba. Why
he's definitely an academy player.
Yeah, but he went and then came back. It's got a different feel to
No,
it.
he's not an academy player.
Even if he was playing for Juventus and scored today.
He ain't got a mic, so we can't really talk to him.
Yeah,
Carry on.
anyway.
Fuck you, Joe. I bet you heard that.
So that's Adam
I
McCall
didn't
there.
even hear that. It's that
Paul
quiet.
Pogba, that's
He's
three-
that much of a mouse of a man. I couldn't hear that.
3 academy players scored today. Thank you very much for that fact. They played very well. You need to look in perspective. It has been a very good start to the season. Stop judging Ollie on one game, one half. United are 2 points off the top. Going to qualify in midweek. It's all going well.
Looking very good. 2 points off the top of the league. United have come from behind to win their 5th away game in a row. It is now our 9th away league win in a row. We're 2 points off the top of the table. It's looking a little bit better for Manchester United. Brilliant again from Bruno Fernandes. Marcus Rashford came on, made all the difference, and Mason Greenwood is hopefully finding a bit of form. Thank you to everyone for watching the watch along. Thanks for watching the review. We've got fan cams, we've got Adam's review, and we've got Stephen Howson's review coming up. We'll see you in a bit.
Head over to stretfordpaddock.bigcartel.com and check out the Paddock merch. And for a short time, you can get 20% off orders with 2 items or more using the code Paddock20. Go get on it.